Yo. Welcome back to Evil Scuba Diver. Today I'm talking about every album I listened to in November and why I liked them, or why I didn't like them. Maybe why I hated them, who knows? I'm a very opinionated person, I'm very evil. A lot of people might be asking, like, why are you starting this little series here? I had a dream. A dream told me to. Let's just get straight into it. Also, enjoy some Fortnite B-roll. This might be like laggy Fortnite B-roll. I just screen record it from a Twitch stream I did. I think you'll be okay with it, right? We're all friends here. Let's just get straight into it. Night Palace by Mount Eerie. This album really got me through a lot, not gonna lie. The beginning of November for me, it was really kind of dark and depressing and moody and kind of just a bad time for me overall. And I listened to this album and yeah, it kind of just perfectly matched that, and I'm very grateful that it exists. Phil Elverum of Mount Eerie, he's really interesting. He produces all of his own stuff. He uses like a bunch of different like mic techniques, and he's very into what he does. Some of this stuff isn't even music. There's a song on this album that's just 12 minutes of like fog sound effects and him talking about like random stuff, like, oh, I saw a rock and the rock was cold and it moved me, and then gentrification sucks. Like he's a really interesting dude. This album's really interesting, and I wouldn't mess with it as much as I had, but it came at like the perfect moment for me at the start of November where I kind of needed an album like this to sort of just like say like, hey, it's okay to be in a sucky moment. It's okay to like actually like feel all the sadness you do. It's kind of what this album gave me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, Phil Elverum. The Eraser by Tom York. This album's dope. I listened to it while falling asleep one night in November, and I really appreciate it. Like, this is 2006, so this is 3 years after they made Hail to the Thief with the whole band. So the whole gang creates that awesome album. Tom goes and does his own thing, and his own thing is very weird, very off. It's like, it's more of a giant sound play album than anything else. It's not so much music as it is every song being a giant sound effects bucket of like different interesting analog percussion sounds and weird like warped synths and stuff like that. And then Tom's vocals finds a weird little pocket and floats above it all. But, I really like it. I mean, it uses like compression and sound effects and just weird ass sound play as like the main instrument. And I think he does it better on Anima, which I have heard. But this is a really good start. This is really interesting. I'm glad I listened. It was more playful than I thought it was going to be. Tom York, he's such a mysterious personality. People might think, oh yeah, he's always just thinking about like death and darkness and like the mystical wonderness of the world. But no, this album was actually just really playful with the way he's doing his vocals, and the instrumentals are really playful, and just like it doesn't sound like it takes itself too seriously compared to what I thought it was going to be going into it. All these songs are very linear. It's just kind of like the same loop over and over again, but the way it's mixed, the way like the sounds are integrated are really interesting. Every sound that hits your ear is like really intentional. Glad it exists. Let's move on. Imaginal Disc, Magdalena Bay. This album, oh my god, this album. This is pop music re-envisioned. This isn't like your pop music from like 2013 where it's like, and I crashed my car into a bridge. I mean, that song's cool too. You know what I mean? But like, it's not like corny pop music. This is like a different branch of pop music that's sort of subverged. It reminds me of like the Oracular Spectacular MGMT sort of vibe going on, like how you're just making pop music in a different way, and it's so intriguing and so interesting, and the production's so layered. Every song transitions. Matt, the head producer of this album, is like a genius for all this sound play he's doing. It's a must listen. I know you've heard this album name everywhere. I know you look at album of the year and you see like how good it's rated and stuff like that. I know you see all these reactors on YouTube reacting to it. It's worth it. It's damn good. I mean, every mix is so good too, and I understand why. It's mixed at Tarbox Road Studios, which if you don't know, they mixed MGMT's Oracular Spectacular, all the MGMT albums except for Congratulations, actually. The Flaming Lips albums, right? This album is mixed very psychedelic and very interesting, and everything is pristine, and I love it. And check it out. These guys are absolutely killing it. So shout out Matt and Mika. GNX, Kendrick Lamar. Do I need to talk about this album? I think everybody in the world experienced this album on that day it came out. That one like random, what is it, a Friday or a Saturday? I think it was a Friday. That one random Friday. Oh. I don't know if people have talked about this a lot, but this feels like a 2024 revamped version of Damn. I mean, Damn was pretty much like combining the hype songs and these interesting tracks with like a more introspective version of Kendrick. This is pretty much the same formula, except done in a completely different way. It's more confident. It's not taking itself as seriously. Kendrick's inflections throughout this whole album is like cartoony. He's playing like a cartoon version of Kendrick. Like there are some inflections he'll do. It's like, I mean, you guys have heard that album, obviously. You know what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? I ain't talking about nothing. What are you talking about? He's he's getting really funny on these inflections on some of these songs, dude. Also, the mustard scream, iconic. He's really giving love to the West Coast on this album. All of California is represented here. Every single artist on this album that is featured here is from California. I don't know if SZA is. I don't know if SZA is. Correct me on that or not, but SZA's on 2 songs as well. She does really good on Luther and Gloria. I mean, yeah, just beautiful album, to be honest. Also, Jack Antonoff on production, the guy who made, like, Tortured Poets Department, the guy who made that sound like a snooze fest, is out here, like, making GNX, like, the most hype, insane West Coast banger album of the year. I think it really proves Jack Antonoff, 1, has a lot of hats, and he's underrated, and 2, Taylor Swift just wants her music to sound like that, I guess, just wants it to be, I don't know. Also, I feel like this is kind of like a Drake album. Does that make sense? Like, this is like a pop album, like a pop album Kendrick style. Like you said, dude, screw a double entendre. I'm here to make you feel this shit. Maybe I'm reaching, but it could be the fact that, like, him and Drake have had this whole beef, and now he's going out and saying, hey, I'm gonna make my version of, like, a Scorpion album or something, where I just go full out and make some pop appeal bangers in my own style, West Coast style, put California on, have some really introspective tracks like Man at the Garden, have some insane tracks like Reincarnated, still not even sacrificing my style, but just showing you that I can be a big player in this popular music scene too. Like, watch your monthly Spotify listeners, Drake. That's kind of what this album is portraying to me as well, which is kind of cool. I don't know where it falls in his discography yet. Mr. Morale is really good to me. I like Mr. Morale a lot. I don't know if that's unpopular or not. I don't know if it may be tied. It's tied. It's too close to call here. Girlfriends by Girlfriends. This album was requested to me in a TikTok live stream when I was mixing some music. This dude said, hey, like, listen to Girlfriends by Girlfriends. It's this cool, like, math rock album. It's, like, pretty amateur, but it's really interesting. He actually described it as a puzzle that you need to figure out, and that intrigued me. To be honest, though, it's not my cup of tea. It's not something I see myself returning to, but it is very amateur, but I can respect the following about this album. It's its own tunnel vision little thing. It does kind of feel like a mysterious little wonderland of an album. It just sounds, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's very lo-fi. The drums are mixed really weird. I shouldn't say weird. The drums are mixed bad, and it makes them almost more like a percussion texture for these more upfront, lush guitars, so it's not like the drums are taking up the full mix. It's almost like they're like a layer of, like, tambourines or something way in the back. Also, I can appreciate texture anywhere I hear it, and even if drums are mixed bad, they're still mixed interestingly. Like, bad is interesting to me sometimes, and I don't know, that's something to appreciate too. The vocals are really buried on most of these songs. I don't exactly know what he's talking about. A lot of these songs are untitled as well. It kind of seems like a collection of Lucy's somebody made in like 2 weeks and didn't really know how to mix it, but they tried their best, and that's kind of how I feel about it. It's not like anything insane, mind-blowing, like mysterious or interesting to me, but I can appreciate it, and I understand why people like it, so yes. Which album is better, GNX by Kendrick Lamar or Chromacopia by Tyler, the Creator? I don't know. That's where I lie, personally. I think that album's more creative production-wise, in my personal opinion. But I could see why people go the other way. Okay, thank you, NFR Podcast, for that little poll there. Bright Green Field, Squid. This album I got put onto by one of my people in my AET class here in college. The AET stands for Audio Engineering Technology, by the way, my major. This is absolutely mental. I'm so glad I listened to this on a leg day, first of all. Absolutely insane. And this is their debut album, and I've seen this album cover. I think I've seen Anthony Fantano review this album because that cover is kind of iconic. I've seen that album before, but I've never like fully went in and listened to it. And yeah, it reminds me a lot of like sort of the Black Midi, Black Country New Road type of scene. I think that's where they come from too. I don't know. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. But the sonics are pristine. The mixing's amazing. The melodies are so intriguing too. I mean, they have like such interesting melodies. One thing I'm not too crazy about is how it trails off towards the second half. Maybe people don't agree with that, but I think it does. I think the first like 3 or 4 songs, they had me hooked. And then over time, it was like, lesser ideas. It's whatever. And the lead singer though, he's going insane. The lead singer's going insane. I mess with the energy. I think it's really dope. I appreciate people who can just like, I mean, it's hard to sing like that if you really think about it. You gotta be like, it's a fine line between like innovative and corny. You know what I mean? And that dude's kind of being innovative with his voice there. Just like absolutely going insane. Almost reminds me of like Cave World or like Viagra Boys at some moments. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just seeing similarities there. I don't know if they might be on their own adjacent vibes and just found the same pocket, right? I love the sound play. There's some really interesting sound effects going on here. I can really appreciate albums that just load their albums and their songs with like intrinsic sounding sound effect things that you don't really pick up until the 4th listen. You know what I mean? Just like weird percussions, weird like synth little pans and stuff like that. Like that's really my shit, dude. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's keep going. Saturation by Brockhampton. Okay, this might get me in some heat. I don't think this album holds up for me, to be honest with y'all. And is that crazy? Is that crazy? I don't know what it is, but the mixing kind of sounds flat to my ears now. It sounds a little bit more amateur, and I don't know if that's just me. I don't know. I think it might be just me, but this is my channel, so you're gonna have to hear my opinion. Like just hearing songs like Boys and Bank like over and over again, and then coming back to it and just being like, oh wow, they really just say the same thing over and over for like 4 measures, and the beat doesn't really change, and it's like I can understand. Like I like this album. It's just coming back to it. I just like look at it like, oh, like why did I like it way much more? Why did I like it so much back then? Did I give it like a pass for these moments? Because right now I can't give it a pass. When I hear songs like Boys and Bank now, I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm being honest, man. Because I love Brockhampton. I think either what's my favorite album by them? I really like Iridescence, low key. Like I think the sonics on that album are crazy. Like throughout that whole album, there's just like the production, the mixing, everything is top tier. Saturation 2, I think is my favorite Saturation album, but Saturation 3 has like the more insane moments, like Sister Nation, etc. Saturation for me falls in the pocket of like, I'll listen to Heat, I'll listen to like Swim, I'll listen to like I'll listen to like a majority of the tracks on this thing, but as a full experience, it just didn't hold up for me the same way. Still the only one I do that with. Next. We got Cool World by Chat Pile. I didn't like this album, bro. I didn't like it. Mixes shit. Sounds like Static Sludge. Not really my thing. This dude's screaming at me like full blast, but it's so compressed, and the guitars are so, it doesn't sound good to me. I'm not even a metal guy. I just listened to it because I thought like, you know what, why not? Like I've seen this album cover looks cool. I know Chat Pile's kind of in the zeitgeist as an interesting metal band. I don't listen to metal. Let's check out one of their new albums. Just it was not my thing at all. I'm not returning to it. Sonically, just not enjoyable. Not what I look for in an album at all. Actually, the opposite of what I look for in albums. So yeah. Free Energy by Dummy. This was a beautiful little surprise, I'm not gonna lie. I clicked this album because it was recommended to me randomly, and the album cover looked interesting enough, and I was kind of blown away because there's so many good ideas on this thing. The second song on this album, Soonish, is like one of my favorite songs right now. I had my playlist, I'm like playing that over and over again every day. It's so good. It reminds me of like, I don't even know what it reminds me of, but whenever I hear that song, I picture like the Koopa Troopas on Mario Kart. You know how they do this thing where they're like, that's like the energy I picture listening to Soonish, the second song off this album, the whole time. It's so nice. The bass line it's really the bass line. The bass line's really, really groovy. I love the DIY element. They have like a bunch of little interludes on here. They're instrumentals. Like one song is just like, I think a saxophone solo over these ambient chords. It's really like, it's weird. I love it. Bands don't take risks like that anymore with their albums, and I just like how they do. And every song kind of transitions in an interesting way. They're combining like industrial sort of sounds with like more indie pop. It's Sweet Trip. If you like Sweet Trip, you will definitely fuck with this album. Also, though, on the reverse side, the DIY does take away from some of the most mind-blowing sonics I think there could have been, right? Because some of it is mixed more lo-fi. Some songs here, like the instrumentals for sure, could have used like more like intentional, like hi-fi mixing to where it's like, oh, this is actually like a warped experience, not just like a DIY interpretation of what could be like really, really grand and interesting. You know what I mean? But dude, love this album. I'm like very surprised by it. Multiple songs are sort of just like in rotation in my head. I'm thinking about it a lot. Soonish is a dope song. One of my favorites from this month. I'm really glad I listened. Check it out. Wildflower by the Avalanche. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I've already listened to it. I re-listened to it. It's just such a happy album. I can't help but like smile and feel good hearing these tracks. Like I listened to the track Sunshine, like as I was walking home from the gym, and I was just like, man, like why do I want to smile right now? Like I had a fucking tough day. But I feel like smiling hearing this album. Like it's all completely samples. It's all samples. But it's not like Since I Left You where it's just like samples for the sake of like putting samples everywhere. They pick the most intentional samples to where it makes it sound like more of a 60s psychedelic sort of joyride experience, less like a DJ set. And I think that's so interesting. It's such a, like, how do you make two sample-based albums and both of them are different worlds than each other? It's like, it's just beautiful. And every time I listen, the production reveals something new. If you listen to the song Kaleidoscopic Lovers and you just close your eyes, it sounds like a giant double helix spiral of just like emotion and just sound play. And it's like, just great stuff. And it's mixed so intentionally too. Like every sound is so amazing. Every sample is like hi-fied out to the point where it's like perfectly put into the song at the perfect time. All the shakers sound interesting. All the drums don't sound, it's just a great album. It's such a good album. If I Was a Folk Star has made me cry on numerous occasions. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna get a little bit emotional here. This is emotional scuba diver. Fuck evil scuba diver. If I Was a Folk Star is such a beautiful song to me. Just sonically, it has legitimately brought me to tears. And it's pretty much just an instrumental with Toro y Moi singing some stuff. And yeah, it's great. I love this album. Please listen to it. Speaking of Toro y Moi, actually, I listened to Sandhills by Toro y Moi as well. This is the EP. This isn't really an album, but I listened to it, and I listened to it a lot. It's like 4 or 5 songs, I feel like, and the song Sidelines is pretty much exactly my life in high school. Like my freshman year and sophomore year of high school, like being on the football team. If you listen to that song Sidelines on the Sandhills EP, holy crap, that's me. It was me. It's literally me. It fills me with like the perfect coziness. Toro y Moi switches it up every album. He made this country like bluegrass EP for no reason, and he did it really well, and that's just super inspiring to me as an artist too, who just wants to do like all sorts of out there shit in the future, like switching it up every album, every genre, you know what I mean? Yeah, very cozy EP, just listen to it a lot over the month, so yeah. Sympathy for Life, Parquet Courts. Parquet, Parcucherie Board. I know Parquet Courts from Wide Awake. Anthony Fantano gave it a high score. I listened to it way back, and it was really good. And I listened to this album just in the gym. I was like, okay, yeah, cool album cover. Actually, really dope album cover. Let me see what they got. I know these guys can cook. But to me, it's more tame than Wide Awake. It's not exactly as exciting to me. There's some songs on here that got me hella excited at the beginning, but they trail off a lot. Like, I'm thinking one of them, let me put them on my playlist real quick. The lead singer is doing some talking. I think the instrumentals, honestly, more than anything, sound like something off like Remain in Light, but just with a different producer and less like insane sound effects and melodies. It's just kind of a more tame version of Wide Awake. I wish it could be more insane, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, this could lend itself to a very insane psychedelic production experience, but some of the ideas are just like they're come and go, and they're not as built out as I wish they could be for a full album. Marathon of Anger was my favorite song off this album, dude, because the synths and the guitar is really wacky, and the chorus, it's really good. It's time everyone got to work. Yeah. Dude, just good song. Listen to that song, Marathon of Anger. That's a good song. It's on my playlist. Speaking of Talking Heads, I listened to 2 of their albums. Remain in Light, Talking Heads. Okay, Remain in Light, Talking Heads, dude. Brian Eno knows his shit. Let's be real here. Brian Eno knows exactly what he's doing. This is like such an immaculately produced album. It's such an interesting listen all the way through. The melodies are off the charts. The mixing is top tier. The ambient notes are really interesting towards the end. There's so many weird sound effects, so many weird melodies. Even like the spoken word tracks are just interesting to me because it's just such an interesting vibe. The vibes are curated so perfectly, bro. And also, while I'm here, I might as well talk about the other Talking Heads album, Speaking in Tongues, I listened to, because I kind of want to compare these two. They're very interesting things, because they came like one after another, but Remain in Light is superior in my opinion because of the production. And I analyzed it. I analyzed both albums. I'm like, okay, why doesn't Speaking in Tongues work for me as well? One, it's not Brian Eno, simply, and also the vocals are way up front, while the in Remain in Light, the vocals are like in the back, more reverbed out. The production and the weird sound effects kind of take more of the front end of the mix. They're the things that are up front. Speaking in Tongues, I mean, the instrumentals aren't as zany. The musical ideas are kind of less pronounced. It's more zany lyrically and less zany instrumentally, and I don't think that really works. I think Remain in Light was sort of like the perfect congruence point for like everything that David Byrne and co were doing in that time. And Speaking in Tongues just simply it's not as good. It's just too it just seems underdeveloped. It seems like it could be more weird production wise and less insane lyrically. Some of the lyrics and melodies on Speaking in Tongues just simply aren't really that enjoyable to listen to for me. But yeah, the biggest takeaway from this is that Brian Eno knows what he's doing. I think he's the best producer for Talking Heads. Like, I don't really think, Speaking in Tongues kind of holds a candle to Remain in Light, just like album-wise. There's some good songs on Speaking in Tongues. Burning Down the House is like one of my favorite songs ever. Also, Making Flippy Floppy. But Remain in Light all the way through, I could listen to that like forever. That's like a desert island disc sort of album right there. Congratulations! MGMT. This was one of my favorite albums senior year of high school. It was my favorite album for quite a long period of time. I listened to it like every day, and it holds up. It holds up. One thing I've noticed though is the production sounds a bit more muddy to me now that I've taken like audio classes where I can like put songs together with like mics and amps and miking drums and stuff like that, and like hearing what like a mix is supposed to sound like from that angle. And when I listen to this album, I think of like, okay, how would this album look like in a DAW? Or like if I was the producer working on Congratulations in a DAW, I would brighten some stuff up. I would maybe take like some mud or reverb out of certain areas. I don't know. I'm nitpicking. Dude, I've listened to this album a lot. I've listened to this album so much, it's getting to the point where like now I get enjoyment from thinking about how the album's mixed. Not even just like the musical ideas, but like, oh, I just like how those drums are mixed on, like it's working or something. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at with this album. I've listened to it probably over like 20 times. Siberian Breaks was my most played song in 2022 or 2023. Sorry. So yeah, this is yeah, I love this album. Also, I mean, just the balls to make Oracular spectacular and have all that success, and then go on to make this album, which is like a 60s surf rock revival album with the most weird psychedelic mixes ever. It's just like such a ballsy play, and I respect him so much. And then to go even further with their self-titled, which everybody hated, but I love. It's like such an interesting album. It's compressed as hell. It sounds like I don't know, it sounds like an evil looming cloud of just like instrumentation. Like their self-titled almost sounds more like an Animal Collective album to me. I think maybe they got inspiration from Animal Collective and how weird they got with their sound play. But we're talking about Congratulations. Congratulations is dope. I love how they went full into that 60s surf rock sort of vibe. With all this like interesting sort of psychedelic production. And yeah, I think it's great. Holds up. Awesome. One of my favorite albums. Go listen. Next album, Slide by George Clanton. Great little album. I've listened to this before, but I haven't really listened to it all the way through, I don't think. I know Dumb was on my playlist for a long time, but I listened to this album front to back in the gym. It's such a good album. It's like Super Mario 64 vibes all the way. That's what I'd take out of it. In terms of albums, I think Ooh Rap Ya is like his opus at this point. Like that album is just like beautifully produced. It kind of expands on everything Slide does, in my opinion, but I love this album. The transitions, the flow, the vaporwave aesthetics, how the first and the last track are sort of kind of the same song, and every song kind of blends into each other, like Dumb into Blast Off. Like, oh my gosh. And I've watched a lot of interviews with George Clanton. He says like he pretty much just messes around until he finds something good. Like he takes a long time for him to make music because he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know chords. He doesn't know music theory. He barely knows how to mix. So it's just like really interesting hearing that from him, because he makes some of the most joyously like entertaining music to me in my ears, and the way he mixes and produces his stuff. So to hear that he's kind of struggling with like the creation act, even like as he's 30 years old, is kind of intriguing to me, because, you know, I'm a producer myself, and that's kind of something I struggle with. Is like I want my ideas to be intentional. I want stuff to sound as good as possible. And when he struggles with it and makes something like Slide and makes something like Ooh Rap Ya and consistently can like prove himself as like an insane vaporwave producer, yeah, it's just really inspiring to me on a personal level. A lot of people were saying my song Dance House sounds like a George Clanton song, so that was kind of a cool compliment, because I fucking love George Clanton. Next album, Time Skiff's Animal Collective. This was like the last full album I listened to in November. I listened to it during a nap in Thanksgiving. I just sort of put it on. I was like, oh, cool album cover. I know Animal Collective's interesting. I never listened to an Animal Collective album. This is the first album I listened to, and holy shit, I'm glad I did. I'm recording this December 2nd. I've listened to 3 Animal Collectives since yesterday on the drive home to get to my dorm room in Nashville after Thanksgiving break. So I'm going to do an Animal Collective deep dive after listening to Time Skiffs, because it's so interesting. I remember listening to Merriweather Post Pavilion. I didn't get it like a year ago. Like I was like, this just sounds like static. I don't like it. But listening to Time Skiffs kind of really put me in the vibe of like, oh, I know what they're just like sound play experts. They use all these like percussions and bells to add like this sort of intrinsic clock ticking vibe to this whole album. Like it's weird how they kind of, the album is called Time Skiffs, and the instrumentation sounds exactly like the album title. Album cover is so dope, by the way, too. I just love the colors. I love the way it's structured. It's a great album cover. At first, I was kind of turned off by the mix of Animal Collective's music. So it's like it's more flat than I would picture it to be. Like if it was mixed like a Tame Impala sort of thing, where every sound is just like blown out of proportion, I think it could be insane, right? But you know, Animal Collective, they have their own way of doing things. I like it. There's some songs in the car listening to it where like, oh my god, those kicks are insanely loud for no reason, and the snares, I just can't even hear him. But it's whatever. I like mixes. I love mixing. I love engineering. So that's just like some stuff I think about, I guess. But yeah, this album reminds me also like Butterfly 3000 by what's it called, King Giz. Just like that first song for sure, Dragon Slayer, like all those interesting warbly synths, and just the sound play on this album is just extravagant. I love the sound play. I love how they just like do not lean away from it. Like all those, like there's sections on these songs where there's just like 2 minutes of like floating marimbas and like clock ticking noises and like weird like little hits of like dense percussion stuff. In my personal opinion, I don't know if this is crazy to say, because I listened to Merriweather Post Pavilion in December. That'll be for the December video. I might like Time Skiffs more than Merriweather Post Pavilion. That's what you didn't hear from me, bro. You didn't hear from me. But you did, though, for real. That's real spill. I don't know. It's just like something about Time Skiffs, man. It's so hazy and laid back. Yeah, very psychedelic album. I love psychedelic shit. So that's everything I listened to in November. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you can get put on some interesting music. I want to do one of these every month. I really love talking about albums and music and stuff, so You know, if you're into that, just stay. Now, if I had to pick a favorite album I listened to this month, something that was like that really stood out to me is like, yeah, I like that a lot. I like that the most. I don't know, man. I'm on a big George Clanton Animal Collective bender right now. Like I'm really into them. So either Slide or Time Skiffs gave me something the most interesting out of these listens. But I'm working on my own shit, so it's just cool to listen to these albums, talk about why I like them, analyze why I like them. Also, I just love passion yapping about shit. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I'll see y'all, and as always, remember lead with love in your heart. Don't lead with hate. I know I'm evil scuba diver and all that, but like legitimately, you don't want to be evil. It's not fun. There's nightmares involved. Be nice to your parents. They're gonna get old soon and it's gonna suck. So be nice to them while they're young and shit. Try to be the best person you can possibly be, morally, physically, mentally, ethically, all that jazz, right? Yeah, listen to an album today. Listen to something new. That's all I gotta say. Thank y'all for listening. I'll see you later. Bye.